working in a busy ER where you work, what are some of the alcohol-related medical issues that you encounter most often?
Yeah, so I like to break these down between like the alcohol-induced ones versus the alcohol behavioral-induced ones, right? And so we'll see motor vehicle accidents, all the trauma, slip and falls, cuts, injuries, etc. from there. And then the alcohol-induced ones could be a little subtle sometimes, right? You know, now this person has dementia, has a hard time thinking, and they're coming in because they're getting confused and doing some silly stuff at home, but that was from like a buildup of alcohol over the years. And so there are some changes that you see with chronic alcohol use. You can see vitamin deficiencies. Then you can see, cirrhosis. We see the bleeding that happens, low platelets, increased risk of infection, new diagnoses of cancer.
So it sounds like the alcohol just literally starts decreasing the body's resiliency. And so the aging process goes way faster. It's just like anecdotally, I have no idea what's going on cellularly, but it's almost like a poison that speeds up the aging process and the disease processes.
You brought up a really interesting point, because there's some science out there that looks at what we call telomere length on chromosomes, right? And that tells you about how old you are, and
your genetic age versus your calendar age, right?
Guess what alcohol does?
It's got to shorten them, right?
That's right. Yep. You want long?
Yeah, I've listened to some podcasts where I've tried to keep up with some of these scientists, and what I got out of it is long telomeres good indication of genetic health and longevity.
You got it.
I'm not shocked that these things are just shrinking based on the consumption of a poison.
Because we see it, right? And I don't want to gaslight anybody out there. It's like you can watch it happen, like from certain folks, and then we just have to be really careful about the contrasting statements that we have about those case reports, that they look fine, or I have some family member. It just happened to happen to that person. It's not going to happen to me.
Or to what degree, right? Well, just because you're not in the hospital because of your constant drinking doesn't mean it's not breaking you up.
Correct.
You know, you don't have to have an ER trip for it to be something that's indicative of not good for you.
And it could be something maybe not medically measurable, right? Like relationships, et cetera, like job performance, your ability to make some income, like interpersonal negative interactions that have occurred because of drinking, right? Like those are consequences that are just as legitimate, if not more so, than certain medical outcomes. And those can be really important things to make sure that we're measuring. And so it could be a little bit harder, in our jobs to do that. But, a psychiatrist or counselor or in group, we can see that those can be some of the more devastating consequences of alcohol use.